perfect accompaniments to all hearty fare. Clarissa Dixon Wright and Jennifer Patterson enjoying what she loved best.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. For those two fat ladies are itching to get into your kitchen. Yeah! Oh, yes.
Marvellous to be in Jersey.
Phew, imagine picking potatoes on these hills.
The gang of pickers we're cooking for will be starved.
They come from Madeira, you know.
Madeira. Time to practice my rusty old Portuguese.
Now we're looking for Le Pré Manor and the Grand Seigneur. I do believe we've been going up and down this same bit of road. Follow the coast, they said.
Can't build that much coast, can they?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning. Bon dia.
Bon dia. Bon dia.
We're lost.
Lost.
We're looking for,
In casa de Senor Maître. Mr. Maître?
Mr. Lemaitre.
Le Maître.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Le Pré Manor.
The Prime Manor.
Pré Manor. Oh, we finished the field and we're going now for Le Pré Manor.
oh, good. I think these are the people we're going to cook for, Jennifer. We're going to cook for all of you.
Follow the tractor.
Cuisiner per você todos.
Yeah?
Yes,
And can you follow the tractor?
of course.
We're going now.
Vamos
follow
embora.
Vamos embora.
Just when you speak Portuguese, dear, isn't it?
Not much of it left.
Oh, more than me.
You get a bit muddled.
Heaven knows where we're going. Very exciting. It's very appropriate we're going to cook for the Lord of the Manor, for his workers, for his gang.
I like a gang of workers to cook for.
Yeah, that's true.
Very jolly gang. Oh,
They
there's
see,
cheery
don't they?
lot. Yeah, great. Oh, something on the door. Let's have a look. Ladies, I'm round the back in the bread oven with my cabbage.
No.
Yeah, we better get see what he's up to.
Go round the back and see if we find the bread oven.
The cabbage, is it?
Well, I suppose this is the right place. Round the back, he said. And this
No.
must be round the back.
Nice little. What's this? Oh no! Hello.
Good
Now we
morning.
found you, the Grand Seigneur.
That's it.
Hello. What a lovely sight.
Hello, I'm
good day.
Clarissa.
I'm just doing a bit of cabbage loaves. You can help me if you like.
Yeah, surely.
You have to
What
put
can
them
we
on,
do?
Just put them on the paddle, right in the middle.
Yeah.
And then one leaf on top. Because I mustn't waste any time. I must
no,
get them
no,
in
of
as
course,
quickly as I
of course
can.
Because it's your workers we're going to feed, isn't it?
That's it.
What I'm really looking for are the proper kitchens.
Oh,
to cook
yes.
for the Portuguese people.
That's right.
Mm.
If you go out the door and straight across the yard, it's right in front of you. You can't miss it.
How long will these take?
Oh, half an hour or so.
Fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. I look forward to seeing it. We better go
Fine.
find the kitchen, then we'll see them
Yes.
later.
Bye-bye for now.
Farewell. That way, huh?
Yeah. Very curious, that idea of wrapping your bread in cabbage leaves before you cook it.
It's deeply sinister. Why do you think they do it? We haven't tasted yet. Do you think it keeps the moisture in or something?
Possibly it does, or gives it some strange esoteric flavour. It may be wonderful.
Oh, cabbage smell.
It may be wonderful. I'm going to make a lovely, luscious chocolate pie, spelt P-Y-E. And this is a 18th century recipe from Hannah Glass. And it has the most unusual crust. It's made with simply ground almonds, egg white, and caster sugar. No butter, no flour. And I'm going to start by weighing out 6 ounces of ground almonds. and put it in my bowl with 2 ounces of caster sugar. Now this is this unbleached caster sugar. It's actual caster sugar, but as you can see, it's the most beautiful pale golden colour. And the white of 1 egg. And I'm going to mix it all together using my hands.
Of course.
Naturally. The thing is that you've got to really squish it together into a paste. There we are. I'm just going to chill this now. I'm going to bring back one that I've chilled in the tin.
Now that's what I like, no nonsense. That's a chilled one.
There you are, you see.
Yeah.
But not yet cooked. You can see my fingerprints in it very clearly.
Good.
Just going to pop it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And now, I'm just going to break up my chocolate. I've got some very good chocolate. 70% cocoa solids, that's the answer. The more cocoa solids you have, the better. It's a chocolate pie. Just keep breaking away.
How much chocolate have you to break?
Oh, quite a lot, all the stuff I got here.
Well, I better tell them what I'm up to then. I'm doing that good old thing, beef stroganoff, which there's no real sort of ritual for it. It was invented in Russia, but I imagine probably by a Frenchman. I'll probably get hundreds of Russians screaming about that. But there is one essential, which lots of people forget. It's got to be fillet of beef. What you do is have your fine piece of fillet, like this, and cut it into strips.
I wonder who Count Stroganoff was.
I don't know, and I've got a book that tells you such.
I like to envisage Count Stroganoff, you know, dashing in his Hessian boots.
Twirling his moustachios and flashing his sabre.
Oh, yes, all of that.
Right. Now I'm going to put the onions on first. I've got a pan here with about 2 ounces of butter in it, to which I'll add a drop of olive oil. Now, onions.
I wonder how the Indian onion shortage is going.
Are we having an Indian onion shortage?
The Indians are having an onion shortage. There were riots last year.
My dear, think of all the Bargees. Now, I have great excitement to add to this. Apart from my ordinary field mushrooms and the little brown topped ones, there are these glorious things here on the island. Yellow oysters.
What do they taste like, I wonder?
Try that. They've got a very good scent.
Hmm.
Reminiscent of something.
What is it?
They've got a curious sort of aftertaste. So... Oh,
We
well.
only had it, though. Damn.
Anyway, we'll pop them in, see what happens. Might murder everybody.
No.
Pretty, pretty.
Right, I'm going to melt my chocolate.
They're wonderful, these yellow oysters.
I wonder if they'll keep their colour.
Little sea salt. Some nice, freshly ground black pepper. Good and rough. In the pestle and the mortar. Now then, I'm going to make my little mixture. I've invented it. 1 teaspoon of sugar, that's all you need. 2 good teaspoons of powdered mustard. Mix it up.
It's going to be unusual.
Then, a slurp of port. I may add more port. I just may add more port.
Yes. Makes me think you just may.
I remember lovely dishes in Portugal, cooked with port. I think better for cooking than drinking, but that's because I don't like it much. Fine great pans, these.
Isn't it wonderful? Better than going to the gym.
Anything is better than going to the gym. In this pan, we'll do the meat by itself. And when you're cooking these, don't crowd the pan. Just have lots of space in between them. Otherwise, they're going to go stewy. A quick searing is what we want. Right, well, that's the last of the beef strips. Put our old friend back on the stove. Now for some lovely Jersey cream, soured. This is what they always put in the end. This makes a wonderful sauce with all the juices in it. What you should do, really, is finish it all off and serve immediately. But as we're needing to serve it later, I'll take it off and chop some parsley.
There we are, that's done now. I'll just bring this across. Keep it moving, otherwise it will set. And to this I'm going to add some lovely Jersey cream. This is pouring cream. What you must make sure of is that the cream is at room temperature. Because if you put cold cream straight out of the fridge into this hot chocolate, the whole thing will seize up. Like that.
What will?
The whole thing, if you pour cold cream into hot chocolate, it just sets immediately. Use quite a lot of elbow grease. Keep moving it. Keep working it.
That's a wonderful smell.
Thank you. Yes, it is, isn't it? And what I do then at the end is just put a whisk through it, just to put some air into it. Now this pie crust, as you can see, is one that's already cooked and I've allowed to cool. I'm just going to pour the chocolate into the case.
Yum. Haha, doesn't it look lovely?
When this has cooled a bit, I can decorate it with some tasted almond flakes, sprinkle them over the top, and some yellow rose petals.
Goodness. That's very far-fetched.
He loves me. He loves me not.
It's wonderful. You should have a great shower of them coming down, like one of those wonderful Alma Tadema pictures. a cloud coming from the ceiling.
Loves me not. There we are. Doesn't that look lovely?
Ravishing.
Have you been reading your almanac lately?
It's not a thing I often do.
Oh, well, there you are. Had you done so, you would know that it is the spring equinoctial tide.
Well, in Jersey, they're probably witchy.
Ah, but even better. What I really want you to do is take me to the beach on the bike.
Of course, yes, sure. To the beach.
To the beach.
You better put some wet things on.
Look, Jennifer, no parking on slipway or beach.
Never mind, I've got permission.
Aha, my almanac was right. Tide's out, it's a new moon, and it's the time of the year we're allowed to hunt for ormers. Ears of the sea, Jennifer.
But they're like a giant limpet, aren't they?
Well, they're sort of sea snails, really. They have green horns.
Denizen of the deep.
Well, I'd rather you stop before we get there, Jennifer. I don't think it's amphibious.
I am the gay caballero, coming from Rio Janeiro.
You happy sitting on that rock, then?
Yes, I'm here in the sea. I'm Millie, a messy old mermaid. I'm well on the rocks, and I know it. I'm happier here than in puddles.
Well, no spirit of adventure. Look, every rock you turn over, there may be an ormer underneath.
I've got some little winkle things here.
Well, that'll be useful. Some shrimps in here, too. It's the suspense. Oh, look!
You got one?
Yes!
Do they swim in, or they were brought in?
Well, they're brought in with the seaweed, I suppose.
Or do they live there forever?
There we are.
Oh, bravo!
Look at the size of that.
Looks like a tortoise. They're rare. They're worth a lot of money, dear.
I know. Usually where you find one, you find others, you see. Ah! They eat the seaweed, you know.
Grazing?
No, they actually eat it.
Oh, they eat it?
Yeah, they really do eat it. Like cows.
It's good. Isn't that quite nice to eat?
If you say so, yes. Well, the Japanese eat it.
Hmm.
Got it. Look. Another big one. Isn't that good? Well, yes, they're quite big, the tides here.
Yes, watch it. Don't go out too far, because they come out very quickly.
Oh, maybe I'll...
And you'll get towed away.
Yes!
Another one.
Ah.
Great.
Look.
A beauty.
Well, that should do us for a little snackette, I think.
Yes, but I'm keen to try. We have to beat them hard.
Yes, and I suppose I have to do that bit too. One way of getting rid of frustration and anger.
They look like sliced calamari or something.
Right, well, I'll just clean another one now. What is it? Against every adversity of the British will barbecue, yes?
They look rather tempting now.
Yes.
Have a go.
Thank you.
The dainty morsel.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Mmm. Lovely. Yummy.
Good taste.
Mmm.
It's a lovely flavour.
Yeah.
Bit snaily, welky.
Much more flavour than the
Yeah.
snail. Good texture too. Oh, Jennifer, that tide's coming in a bit.
Oh. I believe it'll rush us, won't it?
Probably.
Perhaps we better go.
Ah, we're not moving.
We're stuck. We're sinking.
Look at that. That's what we want. Stop, stop. Turn around. Yeah, go back, go back. On the wrong side of the road, Jennifer.
What will we do?
Go up to it.
Have a look. It's all right. Clear.
Yeah, that's right. Drive-through shopping, that's what we want.
What? Look, how wonderful. Isn't it sweet? We can take quite a lot of this. We like these things.
Yes.
Look, what a treasure.
Oh, lovely. Little churn of cream.
Churn of cream.
That's
How wonderful.
sweet. Very dinky.
Wonderful.
I'll put that between my
No.
knees.
I require carrots, onions, garlic, and tomatoes. Bag of mushrooms. We're cleaning it out. Look, there's a box. Would you like a box?
Oh, yes, that's a very good idea. Give me a box. Put everything in the box.
Now, that'd be about, recovery, wouldn't it?
Drive-in shopping. Amazing.
Extraordinary. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, what an extraordinary island.
It's extraordinary. I keep thinking I'm in Portugal. It's full of Portuguese.
And obviously very honest.
Very honest. This is amazing, this idea. Picking up veg on the side of the road and putting money in.
Anyway, I'm going to make a Portuguese fish stew.
There you go, see? More Portuguese.
Especially for our dear potato pickers. And here I've got some lovely fresh fish which were caught but this very morning by a hunky fisherman. Look at it, lovely. Red mullet, look at that red mullet, isn't that pretty? And I've got rock salmon and sole and turbot and of course sardines. You can have any sort of fish you want, but the sardines are mandatory. Right, I'm going over here to start my preparations. Now here I have an earthenware dish. You put in it some olive oil and some onions that I've just sliced. These are red onions, but they can be any old onion.
Is that a Portuguese pot?
It's Brazilian.
A Brazilian, sir.
There we are. Now I'm going to add some chopped garlic and some parsley, quite a lot of parsley. I've got some lovely Jersey tomatoes. And I'm going to add to this some vinegar, just a dash of vinegar.
Not malt.
Oh, no, wine.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit of water to help the juices run. And I've got some bay leaves. Put those in, crumble them in. And some nutmeg, fresh nutmeg. Just grate it in. Oh, I love the smell of nutmeg, don't you?
I love nutmeg in practically everything. I think it's delicious.
And some chili peppers.
The hot ones.
The hot ones, red ones. And some peppercorns, which I just bashed about a bit. And a few drops of piri-piri sauce. That's Portuguese chili sauce. Just a few drops.
Gosh, it's getting hotter and hotter.
No, it's not, Jennifer. There's a lot of fish to take
There
up.
is, there is.
There we are. And I'll just leave that stew, put the lid on and let it stew for a little bit. Jennifer, your stock looks wonderful.
I think it's ready.
Shall I move it off the heat for you?
Yes, do it. It's done about an hour and a half. I think that's plenty of time.
And I must come do things to my fish.
There we are. Beautiful stock. Proper chicken stock. This is I seem to be in a Russian mood for some reason or other. But this is a marvellous soup. It was made for Pierre le Grand, Peter the Great Emperor of Russia. And it's really good chicken stock. All it contains is the chicken carcasses, water, bit of salt, a good bouquet garni of parsley, thyme and bay leaf. No nonsense about stock cube.
You never have any nonsense with the stock cube, Jennifer.
Oh, never have any nonsense with a stock cube. I'll just strain it. I love a really good chicken soup. Like the lovely Jewish chicken soup.
Brilliant.
Cure-all for everything.
Jewish penicillin.
Yeah. Right. I think that's enough for my needs. Now, I've got my nice clear soup. Still got lots left. And if you strain that, it'll make a lovely jelly, which you can use for sauces and things. Now we'll do the thickening part. Now, we've got this butter and flour mixture, which I shall add little by little. It's called a beurre manier. And we'll add this to make the stock more creamy, waiting for real cream later.
He was a marvellous man, Peter the Great, wasn't he? I mean, he came to England to study shipbuilding.
But he took back a wonderful... Wasn't he a wonderful Scotsman?
Yes.
Took him back with him to build. He was great. He stayed there for years.
That's
and
right.
became very rich.
That's right, the Scots built Leningrad. Built half of Moscow, too.
The Scots, a force to be reckoned with.
Hurrah!
Now, what I want to do is mix 2 whole eggs. I'll season the eggs and then we'll adjust it later. I'm going to put in about half a pint of cream.
Lovely.
Look at that, isn't it wonderful? Lovely little thing.
Mm.
And add it carefully to the soup, because we don't want it scrambled. Stirring the while, stir, stir. Now, to add to a further Russian touch, is put a good slug of vodka in. This makes it very Russian.
Indeed.
And if you want more later, you can. If you have Russian guests and they want more. But it sort of gives it an edge. It gives it a sort of kick. Now I'm just going to fry a few little vegetables as a garnish only. It's just a stick of celery, a carrot and a handful of mushrooms. Really, for prettiness. Right. I'm nearly at the end, Clarissa.
Are you? Hello, dear, I'm here. Good, well, I'll just go and get my stew pot and start building my stew.
A lovely idea, building a stew.
Now, the thing to remember is to put your fish on into layers of toughness, so that the ones that take the longest to cook are at the bottom.
Scrumptious looking.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the dogfish, or rock salmon, as it is so euphemistically called. And what you want to do is intersperse the layers with slices of green pepper. Just a few pieces. And make sure it is a layer, you know, sort of spread it around across the dish. And now I'm going to put in the turbot. More peppers, just keep building it up as you go. And then on the very top, and this is always on the very top, the sardines. And now we get to the dead clever bit. We've got these slices of nice rustic bread. Butter it lavishly, and then you're going to put it on the very top of the stew, butter side down. And press it down firmly.
Wonderful dish.
Isn't it lovely? That'll season right.
Yeah.
What we need now, dear, is a nice big pot of new potatoes.
Get them straight from the ground.
Yes, and we can go up the field and get them.
Let's do it.
Your
That's
coat,
all
dear?
well, isn't it? Yes. That's happy?
That's very happy, yes. Your coat.
Thank you.
Would you like a broomstick?
Yes, to get me there.
To the fields.
Why did his bread and water Right, well, if we walk up the hill there, we can catch up with those diggers and pick up the last of the potatoes and have a nice bowl of them with the dinner. They must be starving.
The first from the ground. Think how delicious. Covered in butter or cream and herbs.
Well, here you are. That's not too bad, Jennifer. Look how far we've come.
Yes, far too far.
Watch this, Jennifer.
Be careful.
It's good. Ooh.
They're holding it
Got to press
from
it
the
down.
top.
Okay. Well done.
Very good exercise.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a really steep bit now. I'll leave it to you experts.
Okay.
How about that then, Jennifer?
Bravo, dear. Fearless Freddy.
Ta-dum. Well, how are you doing? You haven't gathered many yourself.
No, it's no occupation for a gentlewoman.
Well, it's suitable employment.
It is the duty of the gentleman to give employment to the artisan. My feeling.
Right, OK.
I think they're great artisans doing all that
I think
hard
they're
work.
brilliant. Well, I think that all looks very nice for them.
Give it the last little touch. Keep them warm after all their endeavours.
Very good.
Just put another slug in, I think. I'll measure it this time. That should be enough, I think.
Ta-dum, look at that. Doesn't that look nice?
Oh, it's lovely. Isn't that splendid?
Mm.
It looks great. It's stayed so sort of perfect. Crème Pierre le Grand. A grand soup for a grand emperor.
Denizens from the deep, spiced up in this lovely fish stew for Portuguese workers with an appetite.
Beef stroganoff. A drop of port will transform this fine dish.
Seductively sublime, who can resist the aphrodisiac of chocolate pie? Well, we won't forget Jersey in a hurry.
I love all those Portuguese. They're having a lovely, jolly time.
I know, sweet they were, and so good you could talk to them.
A little bit.
Well, I think they were very touched. I think they liked it. And the ormers, wasn't that exciting?
That was amazing.
I have something for you. There you are.
Oh, the shells. They're
Yes.
so beautiful.
We can have them for ashtrays.
Look at the pretty, wonderful colours
I know,
inside.
it's lovely, isn't it? Mother of pearl.
And I didn't realise they were the abalone family. I've eaten aborigines.
I hope you haven't. Abalones.
Abalones.
And as for me, ploughing up a hill,
It was a wonderful feat.
I should be able to go home and bore many unfortunate guests for months to come at dinner parties. Yes, sometimes apparently those fields of potatoes wash into the bay.
That must be very boring for everybody.
Yes, very probably.
Bang, bang. Duck.
I think you missed. Well, cheers, dear.
Your very good health. And to Jersey.
To Jersey.
Charming Jersey.
Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 580.
And the ladies will be back at the same time, 8:30 next Tuesday on BBC Two. There's a selection of recipes from the program.
Crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. Because two fat ladies are itching up to get into your kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, yes. part of the English
Hiya.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
You David Ross.
certainly
Hello,
am.
Clarissa Dixon,
Lovely
right?
to meet you.
I'm fascinated by these wonderful creatures.
Aren't we all? So,
We bought them some food.
oh, that'll go down well.
You think so?
Yes, as long as you've got plenty of it. That doesn't look very sort of elephantine in proportion.
It's an amuse
no.
girl, a
Right.
tempter.
And let her just take... She'll take it off and just present it
There you are.
gently. She'll find it. That's it. There's a strict pecking order here.
Is that? Oh, right.
Tota here in the front
Gets it all.
is the leader
The leader of the
of the
band.
herd.
There you are.
Here you are.
Her-
Here.
She's the wisest and the oldest at 34.
34?
And she rules the whole group.
Never mind feeding the elephants. Aren't we supposed to be feeding your lad?
We certainly are. We've got several elephant keepers looking after this lot, and it creates a voracious appetite, I can assure you.
Well, I should think you must be infectious.
Yeah. Around.
Yes, there's the big monster.
Right then, to the kitchen.
Perfect day.
Bumpity, bumpity.
How charming this is.
There we go.
Isn't that nice?
Keeps me busy in the garden.
I
that's
bet
for
it
sure.
does. Wasn't it terrific? I like the way when they put back their trunks and they took the whole thing in. Extraordinary thing to do.
Amazing. I'm going to cook a recipe of my mother's, which is a spatchcocked poussin devilled.
It's just as well you're putting all that on it because they don't really have any flavour. They need a little help, rather like a fillet steak, don't they? Beautiful texture, no taste.
Yes, well, they haven't had a very long life in which to acquire much taste. Taste comes with age. Cut it down the middle of the back, and then you just turn it over, and you lean on it. If you're of a fuller figure like me, it's not very difficult. If you're a skinny little thing, you may have to thump it with something. And then you take some skewers. You don't have to do this. This is just to be neat and tidy, really. And put it through so that it holds the chicken in some sort of shape. And then you do the same the other way round. And all you do then is, if you've got a good, strong pair of kitchen scissors, you can just snip off the ends. And there we are. And then just put it in its dish with its little friends. And then here I have some softened butter. And I'm going to add to that a good dollop of Worcester sauce. You can make it as hot or not as you want, but be quite brave.
If I know you, it'll be full of chili peppers or something.
No, just Tabasco.
Just Tabasco.
Little bit of Tabasco, dear Mr. McElhenney. And then some good dry Coleman's mustard. You want dry mustard for this, none of your made-up nonsense.
Strong taste.
And a good pinch of pepper. And a pinch of salt. And then you just mush it all together. It smells lovely. If you haven't got Tabasco sauce, use cayenne pepper. Or even chili powder. There we are, mashed all about. And then you take your birds and you just spread it over the top. As if you were icing a cake, really. You want to spread it quite liberally. So what are you up to?
Oh, I'm doing something equally simple, as a matter of fact. Wonderful smell coming from here. Apples always produce this wonderful smell. And I've always liked this recipe because it was in the days of swing when I was about 14. And I think it was the Andrews sisters. And they sang this wonderful song called Shoe Fly Pie and Apple Pan Dowdy, make your eyes light up and your tummy say howdy. Tummy say howdy.
Howdy, I like the idea of your tummy saying howdy. Yes, that's very good.
Anyway, it's a form of apple pie, And when cooked, served with a large quantity of whipped cream. What could be nicer? So what I've got here are all these apples cut into slices. And I get to flavour them. First of all, good spoonful of golden treacle, lovely golden treacle, friend of one's childhood. Then we want a couple of pinches of good old nutmeg. Great thing about nutmeg is it seems to go with anything. It just produces one of these marvellous spicy tastes, and cinnamon as well.
Cinnamon and apple, a marriage made in heaven.
Absolutely delicious. The only time I didn't like cinnamon was at school, and they used to give some disgusting medicine flavoured with it. I think it was for colds. Could have been. We'll mix them up. And now transfer it to a well-buttered oven dish.
Caressed with butter.
Well, quite a lot of butter.
I was at the dogs, at the greyhounds once, and I had this wonderful bacon sandwich, and the woman said to me, she said, "As it's you," she said, "I've spread butter on the bread."
That was grand.
Yeah, that was grand. I thought it was so sweet.
Now we make the batter to go on the top of it, which I suppose is the dowdy, or the pan dowdy, or something. I've got a mixture here now of, I've got some milk here and some butter there. Put the milk into the butter, set the ready. Then into the ordinary flour, which has been sifted, we want to put bicarbonate of soda, pinch of salt. So it has a pinch of salt. And the caster sugar. Mix them up together. Make a well in the middle. And add the milk and butter in gently, just to make a good mixture. See, it's very easy. It does it in a trice. There, that's all mixed together. Then just pour it over your apple mixture. Spread it evenly, and it will all sink in and then set. And you get this nice crust on top.
That was lovely.
Simple fare, but good.
Now we're on with simple fare.
And there you are, easy peasy. Would you be there and put that in the hot oven?
Yes, of course.
We'll bake that until it's nice and browned on top and softish in the middle. And that'll take about 40 minutes.
Right.
Thanks, Panks.
It's all right. There we are. Now, I've cut the crusts off a small white loaf of bread and just torn it into, not breadcrumbs so much as little pieces of bread. And I'm going to scatter this all over the top of my smothered spatchcock chicken. Always amazed me. My mother, who never cooked anything, well, she's never allowed to cook anything. They always had servants. Until she was in her 60s, when my father went off his head and left home. And then she took to it, and there were various things that she could do. She had about 5 or 6 dishes that she did terribly well. And she really enjoyed doing, and this was one of them. So easy and so good. And then another bit of butter, and just dot it over the top. Stop the bread from burning.
Nice brown and bubbly.
There we are. Right, I'm going to pop that in the hot oven as well. We'll leave that to cook for about 40 minutes, but keep an eye on it. Well, I'm going to need some goat's cheese for my next recipe.
That's all right, that's easy. There is a lovely lady with goats, and I believe she produces wonderful cheese, so it's exactly what you want.
Well, lead on, Macduff.
Come.
Weren't you saying that the lady with the goats was near a walled garden? This looks possible. What we need now is a way in, don't you think?
Ought to be a place here somewhere. My secret garden.
Yes.
Oh, look, a wonderful garden. Beautifully tended by ghosts.
a perfect Victorian wall garden. Isn't it wonderful? They'd have all hot pipes inside the walls, you know, to help ripen the fruit.
Lovely goose gogs.
Yeah.
I'm very partial to a good goods spray.
Yes, I can't see any at the moment.
They're just coming up.
Look, cartoons!
Oh, the real thing at last.
At last, at last.
They're just like artichokes.
Well, that's because they've been allowed to bolt to get the seed, you see. These little heads here, you shouldn't have
Very
those if you're going
sharp.
to eat them. What you would eat, you see, would be the stalk down there. It's
Nice
pretty
for
good,
you to have found one of your beloveds.
isn't it? Mwah, dear little cardoons.
You get prickled.
Man, prickled. They wouldn't hurt me, I'm their friend. Right, let's go and find the goat.
Onward searching.
Haven't been this way. Ma! I think I can smell goat, Jennifer. I think we're in the right place. Is it like milking a cow?
No, you
Never
don't
do.
pull, you just squeeze.
And then, well,
Extraordinary how these simple tasks to
No.
us humans.
it's not. I'm not. You have a go, Jennifer. You might be better than me.
Yeah, I'll try.
Go on. I'll feed the leaves and you have a go. Oh, you do like the leaves, don't you?
Just hold it there and then squeeze like that.
Come on, me puppet.
That's it.
Sort of rapid fire motion,
That's
isn't
it,
it?
yeah.
You've obviously got the milking touch,
She
Jennifer.
must have.
a new career for you.
Out at dawn with my buckets and pails.
Well, that's it. In future, you can do all the milking.
Always wanted to be a milkmaid. How long does it take you to do a bucket? Do you fill a whole bucket?
No.
How much will she give you?
4 pints.
Really?
This one does, yes.
Well, I hate to break this rustic idyll, but do you have any goat's cheese we could have?
Yes, would you like some?
That would be very kind.
Well, could you just look after her while I just nip up and get her?
Yes, I just keep giving it leaves. Will she be all right?
Is she happy there?
I think she's very happy.
She does.
Ah!
Hold this thing.
You grab the milk, Jennifer. I got the cake. Ah!
Wasn't that a fine goat we had?
Yes, and lovely goat's cheese. Didn't you milk them beautifully?
Well, not beautifully.
Better than me, anyway.
Manage the trickle. Anyway, I'm going to cook a sort of Easterny dish, lamb in phyllo parcels,
That's a jug-up chop.
a jigger chop, without the bone. Anyway, what I'm going to start with is the stuffing. I've got butter here, bubbling away, and I'm going to add onions and get that softened. Onions, garlic, of course. Garlic is always delicious with sheep. I reckon. Sheep. It's a form of sheep. Mutton, lamb, you know. Now I shall add half a pound of mushrooms. Now into this we put our lovely herbs. We've got thyme and chives, mint and parsley. A lovely mixture. Give them a good old mix up. Oh, what a smell! What gives more pleasure than fresh herbs? Just cooking, right?
Well, I can think of some things that give me more pleasure, but not a lot.
Now we put some lemon juice, as much as you fancy, as usual. Can take quite a lot of it. Just salt and pepper. Have it quite well seasoned. And then finally breadcrumbs. Put a nice batch of those. Get it all amalgamated. There we are. We can pop it on the trivet. Now we come to the fun part. We're going to make the parcels with this already prepared phyllo pastry, which you buy. You do not attempt to make unless you come from Mesopotamia or somewhere, and you've been doing it all your life. Lay it down like this. You need 3 for each little parcel. I've got some melted butter here. You paint it on. Come with butter. 1, 2. And each one must be interlaced with more butter. This is what makes it in the end. You know that lovely texture of phyllo pastry? It's all crinkly.
You have to keep it under a damp cloth, don't you?
Yes, otherwise it'll just dry up and shrivel. I've got a bit of a break there, but it doesn't matter. All this is going to end up as a neat parcel, so don't worry. Then you get one of these nice pieces of chop, quite a fine fellow, and I've just seared, just to seal the meat. Place it there, in the middle, then give it a good dollop of the stuffing. Press it in a bit. Then you turn the side up, the front side. Now, butter the sides where you have folded over. Fold it inwards to create the beginning of the package, and then simply turn it over and over. And you have a neat little parcel there.
Very dinky.
Very dinky, you see. It's quite simple and pleasant to behold. And pop it there, and I shall continue filling them all up while you do one of your exciting things.
Exciting things with goat's cheese. I'm making chili rellenos.
Oh, rellenos. Caramba!
Olé. With a tomato salsa. And what I've got here is some jalapeno chilies. And what I've done with them is I've put them into boiling water and then removed it from the heat and left it to stand for 15 minutes. And then I've drained them off. And all you do is you cut the little stalk off and just take out any seeds. And then I'm going to stuff them with goat's cheese. You can use any sort of cheese. In Mexico, I believe they use something called Monterey Jack, which always reminds me of an outlaw. So I take the goat's cheese, lovely goat's cheese.
Isn't it magnificent?
Yeah. Break it up. Use your hands for this. It's a lot easier, really. Make sure that they are spotlessly clean before you start.
Of course.
Of course. And I'm going to add to it some oregano and some salt, quite a lot of salt, because you need to taste the cheese first. This is quite a young, soft cheese, and it needs a bit of salt to flavour it. And some chives, which I'm just going to snip. So nice and so fragrant, and they look so pretty. There we are. And just mix that all in. Then you take the chilli, and take a little spoon, and just stuff away. This is why you want chilies that are a good size. I find chilies such a fascinating subject. My entire family are addicted to chilies. We used to think that my eldest sister was the milkman's child because she was the only one that didn't like chilies. When my brother died, he left me his chili collection.
Oh, what extraordinary thing to be left. Did you use them?
Well, I have been using them over the years. They're finished now. It was some time, but there were dried chilies and bottled chilies and pickled chilies.
Rather a good thing to be left in. And to my sister I bequeath my chilies.
Rather nice it was, I thought.
Amazing. I thought you might have kept them for heart-rending thoughts.
No.
No. None of that nonsense.
No, absolutely not. So I'm going to put these on now to steam for about 15 minutes, and they'll puff up and look very nice. And to go with it, I'm going to have a cherry tomato salsa. I've got both red and yellow cherry tomatoes. It looks so pretty. And I've just cut them into quarters. To this, I'm going to add some shallots and a little green chilli, which I've just chopped up just to give it a bit of bite, some coriander, and a couple of pinches of salt. You need the salt just to make the juices run. And a few more chives. And then mix it all together. There. That nice?
Pretty, pretty, pretty.
Right, how are these getting on? Perfect.
I'm going to put mine in the oven.
Yep, I'm going to take these off now.
So it's 15 minutes in a hot oven if you want them nice and pink inside, which I do hope you do, because otherwise they'll go grey and sad looking. There we go.
Right, well I suppose we should just check the dining room,
Yes.
and then we could go and see the elephants. I'll take these napkins through. Can you grab that bottle of wine?
Yes, the red.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but-
the one.
Oh,
Well, this all looks very nice. We're nearly done. Just leave them some napkins.
nice and bright.
Well, they can help themselves. They'll need it after they've been...
I'll leave them...
put it
You've
on
got
there.
the white up there. I'll
Yeah, put
that
it on
one
there. Right,
Yeah.
let's go and see the Ellies. Well, you never know, we might see the walkout.
The walkout.
Yeah, they're walking out to the field. Do you want to take the bike, or shall we take the Land Rover?
Oh, I think we'd be better taking the Land Rover, probably, in case something unforeseen happened.
Yes, keep out the monkeys, if not the elephants.
Coming round the bend there,
Oh, there they are.
all in uniformation.
I know, school crocodile.
And those sweet.
They go quite quickly, don't they?
Yes, they, with those great legs carrying them on, they look slow, but they're taking very big strides compared to us. Plump, plump.
Right, let's go and follow them up the hill.
Follow the herd, follow the herd.
Look up. You have this. They all look very, very happy out here in the wild.
Nice and full up, aren't they?
Well, at this stage of the day,
Yeah.
they're absolutely full. They're still taking more grass, but they've had several hours now.
They go on forever
Picking
if you let them, wouldn't
I
they?
don't think they will. They spend a few hours a day just sort of sunning themselves or dusting themselves or mud baths, but certainly 18 hours of the day is eating.
We've cooked all this lovely food for you.
We're looking forward to it.
Why don't you go off and eat it and leave us here to babysit?
Well, it sounds like the best offer we've had today.
If they stampede, we'll be
Yeah.
there in front of them.
Tell us which point of the compass they're aiming for and we'll intercept.
Anyway,
Right.
well, off you go and enjoy
Right.
your food.
Enjoy. Yes,
Enjoy,
and,
enjoy.
thank you.
We'll stay and look after them.
Bon appetito!
Thank you.
And we will sing you a lullaby.
You sing them a lullaby. They may very well stampede if I sing them a lullaby.
But it don't ain't seen anything when I sees an elephant fly.
Well, guys, I guess this is it. Let's get stuck in.
The devil has all the best recipes, and these mustard petit poussins are no exception.
How's that? Try that. Give it a bit of chili.
Chili rellenos, warm goat's cheese, chili and a Tex-Mex salsa on the side.
When are you going to move them on? You're just trying to make Steve feel better, aren't you?
You got the chili. I'm struggling.
Crisp phyllo pastry makes neat little parcels. Simply served, they are quite a feast. Lamb in phyllo pastry, stuffed and pink to a turn.
What did that say?
Nothing, I never sent it.
As good as they know it, to be honest. Jolly songs inspired this fair. Serve with cream and say howdy to apple pan dowdy.
And a toast to Jennifer and Clarissa for a super meal. Cheers for watching the elephants.
Thank you very much.
What a curious day.
Extraordinary, like being in the middle of a fairy tale book.
Dr. Dolittle.
Dr. Dolittle, yes. Very extraordinary meeting those animals near to.
I know, so close. It's been rather wonderful, really.
And our lovely Ellies, that I'm madly in love with. I think they're charming. I'm glad we're looking after them.
Yes.
Gives me a feeling of responsibility.
I'm so glad to. Yes, well, we really are babysitting because we've got the babies.
Jumbo babies. I have a feeling that they wouldn't hurt one. You're all right, aren't you? Yes.
You're getting nearer and nearer to your circus career.
What I wanted to be always when I was a little girl. I wanted to be the lady on the horse jumping through the hoop. in a beautiful pink tutu.
Well, I'm sure that could be arranged. Yeah.
I'm fond of them.
Well, I'm glad you feel that. We may be here some time with them. I hope they come back.
Listen, the sun will go down and the cries of terrible animals will come up. Jackals, ready to eat us.
We're not in the bush.
Well, we practically are.
Well, here's to the bush.
Here's to the bush. We'll call if nothing happens soon.
Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 580.
Crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant?
Fasten your taste buds
For gastronomic ride.
because our two fat ladies are eating up to get to New York City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jennifer, lots of lovely wild watercress.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Paul. Hey, here we are. Look.
Oh, that's splendid. It'll have that nice peppery taste.
Yeah,
Won't it? Look, just how it used to be. Wonderful.
Really good. It's good, strong, proper flavour.
Peppery.
And it's nice running water here, so it'll be quite safe.
Right. This is magnificent here, but why have you brought me?
Well, for the good of your soul, Jennifer. That's how beautiful it is.
Do you think there's a place down here?
Yes, why wouldn't it be?
Well, I don't know. We might meet a quagmire.
No, this is the old Grove Road for Strontian, so if we keep going down here, we'll get to the loggers.
What loggers?
The ones we get to cook for, the lumberjacks.
Oh, none of the lumberjacks.
Hello. Rather nice looking fishermen down there, too.
Oh, very nice here.
Bit slippy, be careful. Morning.
Morning.
Mind this guy with the tracking saw.
Ooh, sorry.
Morning. Go up here. Hello.
Good morning. What a pretty lineup.
Well, we've come to cook your harvest supper for the end of this particular lot. And I gather one of you's got a croft we can use to cook in.
Yep, that's me. Oh, great. Would you be dear and show us the way? You could pop on the back of my bike.
Yep.
That'd be great. Would you be happy there?
That should be.
Okay.
Be comfortable.
Comfortable? Hang on, because there's nothing to hold you there if we go off to a nasty bump.
Okay. She took it off so that handsome young men would have to hang on to her.
Quite untrue.
Yep, that's great.
Isn't that lovely? That's not bad. Charming. Oh, it's a very wonderful place to be.
Good heavens, look at the kitchen. It's vast.
I must say, it's very well equipped.
Yes, rather jammy for a croft.
I thought it would be just a sort of little, you know, one of those little coal fire things. Anyway, what I'm going to make is a good hearty pulo pot, that wonderful, nourishing dish invented by Henry of Navarre because he wanted all his subjects to have a chicken in their pot every Sunday, which was a good idea, and I think it worked for quite a long time.
And he was killed by a crazed vegetarian.
Typical.
Well, he was killed. Possibly it was by a crazed vegetarian.
Looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Indeed.
So what we're going to do now is actually stuff the chicken. And first of all, we want breadcrumbs, which I've got soaked in milk, which I must squeeze out. This is just to keep it moist. And plop it in. Then I've got egg yolks for binding purposes. And about 4 tablespoons of parsley. That'll give it a colour and a flavour. Then good old garlic, of course.
Do you think they do garlic up here?
But we'll see what happens. Don't tell.
Oh, no.
Now, a good little bowl of delicious chopped gammon, well seasoned with pepper, and a bit of salt, but not too much because of the gammon. My dear little nutmeg, good scrape of nutmeg. And then I'm going to stir in the chopped livers, which gives a very good flavour. Mix that all up. Now we'll stuff the chicken. Push it to the back. Try and get as much as you can in. I wouldn't mind having much bigger ones. I'll have to do several of these.
Yes, that won't go very far, will it?
I'll probably eat one each. And what I'll do is, I will just put a slice there through the skin and shove the Pope's nose in.
I wonder why they call it the Pope's nose.
I expect it was rude. It was probably heretical or something.
I'm sure it was frightfully rude. I just wondered which bit of rude it was.
Then we'll truss it and we can hold it together with these excellent bands. And that's kept tidy. That's all right. Now, I've got here, boiling in this splendid pan, my lovely broth, which will give a lovely flavour. Got a bit of celery, bouquet garni, onion, with a couple of cloves stuck into it. And we'll pop this in. There, now that'll simmer away. So I'll leave that there and prepare some vegetables to add to it. So you can carry on, dear, if you need anything of the oven or anything.
Yes, thank you. I'm making watercress mousse.
With a lovely watercress, proper.
That's right. It might be perhaps a little dainty for the lumberjacks, but with this beautiful watercress, I couldn't resist it. And I've been chopping up the watercress very finely, and I've got here some ricotta cheese that will hold the mousse. This is a non-cooked mousse. Trouble with cooked mousses is they tend to be doing, 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 unless you're very careful. Because the watercress is quite bitter, I'm just going to add about half a spoonful of sugar and an egg yolk.
Not many will get a mousse like that with that real watercress.
No, indeed. So just mix the egg yolk into it, and some salt and pepper. Not too much, because you don't want to spoil the delicate flavour. And the zest of a lemon.
I had a terrible feeling we weren't going to find any lemons, but luckily there were plenty.
Well, I think they're not as barbaric up here as you think they are, Jennifer, among the hill tribes. There we are. And the juice of half a lemon. There we are. Mix that all up. And now I'm going to mix in the watercress. Quite a lot of watercress. See how small the leaves are on that? But they do have a wonderful flavour. They're sort of member of the nasturtium family.
Peppery?
Yeah. And I've got some egg whites that I've beaten already. Whisk them a bit more. There you are. You see it's nice and stiff here. Stiff peaks. And I'm going to fold this in to the watercress mixture. And make sure you fold it in well. And you must use a metal spoon for it. Jennifer, just behind you, there's some gelatin softening. You wouldn't be an angel and pass it to me, would you?
Yes, of course. All nice and liquid.
Good, lovely. Just put it down there, that's great. Just drizzle it in. Fold it in as you go, so it doesn't have a chance to set. And now, here I've got some little moulds. There we are. And I've just lined each of them with some cling film so that when the mousses are set, they will come out easily. And I'm just going to spoon the mixture into the moulds.
Dainty little creatures for those tough old lumberjacks. They're not as sort of big and brawny as I expected them to be. I thought they'd be sort of...
Well, I think it's the... They all use chainsaws now.
They don't need the muscle.
No, they don't need the brawn.
They just go everywhere.
What are you going to do with all those veg?
They're going in to join my chicken. And they'll be the vegetable that goes with it. And by the time these are cooked, the chicken will be cooked, so then it can all be ladled out together. Really, when you come to think of it, it is very like the Scottish cockaliki.
But without the barley?
Yeah, but I don't like barley. Nasty. It's sort of slippery.
Because you don't like slippery, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll make a fine great dish. Now, they can go on cooking until the chicken is ready and the vegetables will be ready.
Yes, it'd be lovely for them. But you'll be surprised how much they like these dainty little mousses, I bet you. And serve them with a few prawns. I mean, I'll just fold the cling film over. And then I'll chill these and then turn them out for a nice starter. You know that bridge we came over after the Drove Road?
The pretty little one.
That's the one?
Yes.
And you remember the fisherman we waved at?
Yes.
Well, I thought he was quite attractive, really.
Oh, you would.
So I thought, as there's this fishing rod knocking around here left by Richard, I thought we might go and try a hand at a little fishing.
Pray do.
Well, I thought you'd like to come too, as chaperone.
It's very wet.
Well, you can sit under an umbrella or something. Come on, be a sport.
Lovely, lovely. What next?
Is it all right if I try a bit of fishing?
Yes, let's see what we can catch.
Oh, looks very foolhardy.
Well, not if I catch a fish, it won't be. Don't fall in. Now, I'll try not to. Not had a lot of practice at this.
Well, I'll help you with your casting. Okay.
Right.
So you take the rod in your right hand and take the slack in your left. Let me show you how the action works. So if you pull it back and you count to 2 when it comes back, huh? And shoot it out.
What is he
Have you
doing?
got the action?
Yes, he's teaching me how to fish, Jennifer.
You're comfortable about it?
Yes.
This wind doesn't help.
He's about to
But right,
drown
now,
you.
push it out. Now leave it out. Let the fly come round. Keep a firm hold of this and the tip down slightly. You've got to stay in contact with the fly. Would you like a go at this, Jennifer?
I don't have waders, I'm glad to say.
God, the weather's really coming in. I'm going to just put my hat on.
You are brave.
Yes, well, one has to be in these matters.
Okay, let's see this action again. That's it. You're getting good at this.
It is.
You've done it before.
No, but I can use a whip very well.
Okay, well I'll leave you to just go on and let it come round in the water and then just, if you see that flurry of activity, strike.
How long do you think it's going to take?
Until I catch a fish? Who knows, Jennifer? But we'll keep trying. I may never get one.
Pray to St. Peter. He'll hold some fish in.
Ooh, yes. What do I do?
That's
A
it.
hit.
Yep. I think we've got one.
What do I do?
One.
Reel it in. That's it. Bring it in.
He's not very big.
No. I
Hey,
think
wonderful.
bring him in. Bring him towards me.
There he goes. Goodbye, little fishy.
How big is it?
Not big enough, Jennifer. I'll have to come back in a few years.
I've got a few fish here.
Have
Which
you?
you can have, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Hey, look, Jennifer. Look what my new friend's given us.
Terrific.
Thank you very much.
My
What
pleasure.
a lovely gentleman you are.
Perhaps he wants St. Peter.
Who knows? Sea trout. How I love sea trout. So much nicer than salmon. I love it even more than sea bass, especially when it's given to me by a handsome fisherman. There you are, look at that. Isn't that lovely?
A perfect specimen, just the right size.
Mm.
Wonderful.
And what I'm going to do with it is cook it in rock salt, which is a very simple way of doing it. It keeps all the juices in the fish. It's difficult to go wrong with it, and it looks very dramatic. Now I'm going to rub the inside cavity with salt and pepper, just the inside cavity, and I'm going to put into the cavity some fennel. It can be fennel the herb, or it can be the chopped tops of sprouting bulb fennel.
Or if you didn't have it, you could use Pernod.
I suppose one could. Is one more likely to have Pernod about one, I wonder?
Yes, quite often. I've always got a bottle of that in the cupboard. I've always got a bunch of fennel.
And now for the sea salt. There we are, there's my pan. And this is the coarse sea salt that you get. And I'm going to make a layer of that on the base of my baking tray.
Rather fun, this.
Isn't it?
Yes.
It was rather rustic and guidey, really. I remember the first sea trout I ever caught. It was in Ireland when I was a little girl, and we were out fishing, and I caught this fish, and I was so excited. It's a little like today, and even more humiliating. It was that big.
A minnow.
And they made me throw it back.
Ah.
And I had all sorts of visions of having it stuffed and put on a board.
No, wonderful.
And put the fish on the salt, and then just heap more salt over the top. It doesn't matter if the head and the tail protrude a bit. And bank it up round the fish. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a few drops of water on the top so that it'll help the salt to coheed until the juices start running, because you don't want it sliding off the fish. There we are, that's done. And then I'm going to put it in this instance, the top oven of the Aga for about 40 minutes. There we go. And with that, I'm going to serve that delicious but very simple and oh so easily ruined sauce, beurre blanc. But actually, a beurre blanc is terribly easy to make.
The most wonderful of sauces. It's another miracle of the kitchen.
It is wonderful. And here I've got some shallots, which I've finely chopped. And I'm going to cover them with 2/3 white wine to 1/3 good white wine vinegar. There we are. And a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm just going to put this on and cook it until the liquid has reduced and just moistens and barely covers the shallots. And Jennifer's doing all sorts of things.
I'm doing a large, luscious pudding for the nice loggers. What I've done is I've got these little peaches. I've taken the stones out and peeled them. And what I'm going to do now is make a lovely paste to put in the cavities. I've got these ratafia biscuits, which I shall pound into a powder.
What is the difference, really, between a ratafia biscuit and a macaroon?
You say ratafia, and I say ratafia.
Well, indeed.
Which
Whichever's
is
right
correct.
now, I don't know.
I once had great trouble with the little ratafias, because I did a receipt for lemon posset, and that's another miracle thing, you know, where it thickens by the lemon juice. And you're meant to put the little ratafia biscuits in, and they're all meant to amalgamate. Now, I would have thought perfectly safe for anybody. And I got an infuriated letter from a reader saying that not only had he wasted 2 pounds of raspberries, but the vicar's bridge work had been broken. Terrible tale.
Dreadful. Good Lord, what is it, Vicar? Is it the bridge work that's holding you back, or your collar? Yes, right.
So I've got these to a pulverized state, and I'm going to add a spoonful of demerara. And to moisten it and make it into a paste, a little bit of Cointreau, which will give it a good old flavour.
What you sound like?
You
sound as though you're about to take off.
Thomas the Tank Engine, that's me. And we'll fill the little holes with this paste. Dinky, dinky little peaches, dinky little mooses. For the dainty little lumberjacks, it's marvellous, isn't it?
We have to get them to sing.
I am a lumberjack, I don't care. That's the Poggy Foggy do, isn't it?
They wear high heels, panties and a bra. I wish I were a girlie, just like my dear papa. Yes, I think we may get chased off the island.
I think they're probably too young to know the song.
Yes, like policemen.
Yeah, we're so old.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well, I am. There we are. They're all nicely filled. And guess what I'm going to do now? Cover them in cream.
What, the lumberjack?
No. The peaches, the peaches.
Well, I'm sure your pudding will be a great success. It can be lovely and sweet, and the Scots have a very sweet tooth.
They love sweet things. In fact, in the old days, it used to be their 21st birthday present to have all their teeth out so they wouldn't have any trouble with it at all.
I've not heard that one, Jennifer. I think that's anti-Scots propaganda myself.
No, I've often heard it, really. Now, cover this fine mess in more demerara, rather like a brulee. Now it's fun time. I've got this lovely little instrument.
What is that?
It's my blowtorch. There's no grill here.
No.
I don't know how to use them, but we'll try. Now,
Yeah.
I wonder if you would... I'm going to hold it. Would you light it?
Yes,
I'm
Jennifer.
slightly frightened of it.
You're slightly frightened of it. I'm at the sharp end. Just call me Rome, dear Nero. Yes, quite.
Hey, I'm Matilda.
Yes. Point it at the thing.
Then we'll do a lovely, lovely, bubbly brew. I prefer a good old grill, frankly.
Well, I'll hold it a bit closer. That's it, you see. Now it's bubbling. You're just being too cautious with it.
Blast away, blast away. Yeah, I think that's all right.
Yes, that looks fine.
There we are. Quite a little weapon.
Yes, I think I'd stick to the bike if I was you.
Oh, I just need a little practice.
Yes.
What are you finishing off?
I'm about to put the butter into my beurre blanc. Whisk into it these cubes of cold butter, a handful at a time. The trick of this sauce is that you must wait until the first lot are finished and mixed in properly before you add another handful. And just keep whisking it. Patience and perseverance made a bishop of his reverence. Is that what your nanny used to say to you?
No, I've never heard it before. My nan is more likely to say,
Didn't you have an English nanny?
Yes, I didn't care for her at all after our lovely Chinese armour, this nasty, starched monster. And to us, with this terrible smell, probably Dettol or something like that. You know, we weren't used to disinfectants.
No. There we are. I think that's done now.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Perfect consistency.
Pour it into this little bowl. And get my fish out of the oven. It should be done by now.
Very dramatic. Like Frankenstein's monster found in a block of ice, or the Snow Queen frozen in her palace.
Yes, dear. Now, the way to tell... I haven't got a skewer.
I've got a little sharp knife. Would you like that?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Thank you. You just put it through the salt, right through the crust. There we are. Take it out. If it's hot at the tip, then it's done. What I'm going to do is break off the salt crust when it's cooled a bit, and all the skin and everything will come with it. Right. I think we should go and see what the lumberjacks are up to, don't you?
I think we should.
Good.
See if they're getting ready. I hope the rain keeps off.
Indeed. Be a miracle. Right, well, the fish is getting cold, Jennifer, so I think I'm going to give them a hand. Chop down this one for them. Right.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand of that.
Oh, hello.
Modern.
Well, I almost cut down that tree, but they laughed at me for using this old handsaw and said they'd finish it off.
That's what they're using. No, look! Timber!
That's my tree.
Look out! There's another two coming down over there.
Yay!
Oh, timber!
Timber! Last log of the season, Jennifer.
You are a lumberjack, and you're
Alive,
okay.
Come on, Tug.
Oh.
Yes, good boy.
She works all night, then she sleeps all day. Sooner her than me. Damn midges. Let's get out of here.
Here we are. Look how that's come off, you see.
Yes, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the goodies sealed in.
Mm.
Pretty chicks.
Yes, doesn't that look lovely? Well, that will set them up a treat, I think.
Right, let us sleep.
Yes. Wild watercress mousse, a peppery bite for the logging types. Fresh sea trout sealed in salt and a beurre blanc, irresistible combination.
Yeah, please.
Boulot pots, French inspiration, hearty vegetables, and traditional stuffing. crispy, crunchy peaches with a hint of Cointreau. Simple divine.
Well, how many thousand tons was that, Doc, out of that? 5.5, mate. 5,500 tons. Well, there we are. 5,500.
Well, Jennifer, I think this is one cooking experience that you'll be glad to see the back of.
I will. Wet, wet, wet.
Midges, midges, midges.
But nice people.
Sweet people.
With nice habits and got no money at all. And they all said it was lovely last week.
Well, yes. I mean, it's always beautiful the week you haven't been there, isn't it? But the advantage of the wind is it keeps the midges away.
Don't you like midges?
No, I'm not fond of them myself.
Freezing cold winds.
Well...
And people come here to stay, you know.
Yes. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I don't think you enjoyed the adventures as much as I did, but I had a lot of fun.
You got jolly cold in the middle of the river.
I know, but it did have its incentives.
It had the fish.
And the fishermen, yes, quite. And...
I must say the fish here is wonderful. I'll give it that.
Yes. Anyway, well done.
Well done. Very good help. And to Bonnie Scotland. Aye.
Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 580.
Your whole personality could be shaped by where you're born in the family. Me first.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. Cause us two bad ladies are itching to get into your kitchen. Yeah! Oh, yes.
Don't forget to stop before you go in the harbour.
I go over the top.
There we are. Ooh, look, hello.
Good morning to you.
Can we get some crabs from you?
Yes, we have some crabs.
Oh, good.
Would you by any chance have a splendid cod or two?
We have, yes, we have some cod as well.
We're in luck.
Indeed, we are. Very fortunate.
I'll go and undo the basket.
We've also been doing some cooking on the way in, so you can try some of our local fare.
Thank you.
Okay.
These are better than a prawn.
Longestine, aren't they, really? Delicious. Look at that. Look, look, look. Isn't that lovely? Breakfast, too. Thank you.
Right, let's see what we can fit in here.
Surely, yes.
Yes.
Let's see what we have. Would you like a normal, small, or...
Yeah, well, I'll take as many as I can fit in.
I'm sure you will.
I think that's probably enough.
So another one?
Well, for
Another
luck.
one for good luck, eh?
Yes, for breakfast.
For breakfast.
Wonderful.
And I'll put the crab separate on the top.
That's a great big fellow.
Make sure you shut the basket properly, because I don't want them down the back of my neck.
No, I will. What a
Yes.
basketful. What a pretty kettle of fish.
Well, Jennifer, off to cook for jockeys at Kelso.
Time for a little flutter.
Indeed.
Better not feed the jockeys too much, might slow them down.
The racecourse is on the Duke of Roxburgh's estate, and he's kindly said we can cook in his kitchen. Pull up here and ask them. After that horse. Morning. Yeah. Hello?
Good morning.
Morning. We're looking for the kitchens of the castle.
Just carry on down the road. It's on your left.
And we're cooking for you and some of your colleagues. I think there are about 12 of you after the racing.
What are you cooking for us?
Light, we were told. Light for little jockeys.
Okay, well, good luck. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Quite a suitable home for a duke. I hope the butler's expecting us.
Follow me, ladies. We've got a long way to go yet.
Lovely, this room, isn't it? Wonderful tapestries. Oops, he's gone. Come on, Jennifer. We'll lose him. Trot on. What on earth are you looking for?
I'm looking for a mallet for the crab. I don't like those pincers. Vermicelli, indeed. There we are. Labelled under vermicelli, just what I want.
You want vermicelli?
No, I want the mallet.
Oh. Good filing system.
Extraordinary. I knew there'd be one somewhere. Right, well, I'll get this meat out.
I'm cooking green beans with Roman mustard. And she's bashing up crabs. The Roman mustard is a genuine Roman recipe, straight from the pages of Apicius. And what I've got in here is some mustard seed, which I've soaked overnight in grape juice and red wine vinegar. The original recipe called for verjuice, but the nearest I can approximate to that is the combination of those two.
What exactly is verjuice?
Well, it's a type of apple vinegar.
Cider vinegar?
No, it's too light. It hasn't got enough body to it.
Not enough body.
And I've also added to that a few cumin seeds and a bit of salt. And I'm going to put it in the blender. Nice old blender. And then to that, I'm going to add some blanched flaked almonds and some pine kernels. And a bit of salt.
It looks extremely good. Would you call it a condiment?
Well, yes, I suppose so. A condiment, a tracklement. It keeps forever. I mean, you just, once it's made, put it in a sealed jar and keep it in the larder for ages and ages. You don't want to process this too much, just till they're bashed about a bit. Lovely. And here I have some green beans, which I've just topped and tailed.
Something chewy in the mustard.
And just cook them for about 5 to 8 minutes. Right, well, I've got to get on with chopping things, so how are you getting on?
What I'm up to is I'm doing hot buttered crab. We're in quite the right part of the country because we've got the crabs straight from the sea, and they'll be absolutely delicious. They do take a bit of time, and if you have a friend who can help, all the better. Or some people even have people to read to them while they're doing it. But if you just settle down to it, you get through it in the end, and you get better and better as you go along. Now, I've got the flesh there, which I shall now mix with everything else. I've got half my butter. Then we want to put in garlic. Garlic goes very well with crab. And anchovies. Surprise, surprise.
It's quite cool having a race course on your doorstep, isn't it?
Yes, just pop out. I'm just popping over for the 2:30 or something.
Apparently, the relevant duke who started building it, I think it was the 5th one, was celebrating the fact that he had, at the age of 86, just fathered his first son.
Oh, bravo!
He doesn't relate whether he'd been practicing for years or whether he was a late starter.
But they can go on forever doing that, can't they? But I don't know what sort of a specimen he was. Now we're going to put in good old lemon juice for one. A darn good dash of Tabasco, depending how hot you like things. I mean, put in as much as you want. Stir the breadcrumbs in. I think I'll put a little grated nutmeg. Do use fresh nutmeg. It makes all the difference. Vermouth. About 4 tablespoons, I would say. The vermouth always gives a very good scent. Parsley. Time for the crab. Pile that in. This should cook all in all for about 5 minutes because you don't want to cook the crab again. So just sort of get it heated through. Now I've got the other half of my butter, which I shall add in. It can take a lot of butter, crab. Sucks it up. mix that all in. Give it a taste. Doesn't need a lot of seasoning. I'll give it a little pepper.
Looks lovely. It smells lovely too.
All nicely mixed. Then we start filling our beautiful crab shells. Lovely creatures. Straight from the sea this morning.
Right. Well, you'll be stuffing those for a bit. These beans should be cooked by now. So I'm just going to drain these beans. Keep the water for stock. And to that, I'm going to add a bit of the mustard oil and the mixture of chilies and garlic that I've just been chopping up, and some of the mustard I've so lovingly prepared. And the beans. And fry that all up. And I'll mix it all in well. And then put the pan to one side, and a final touch to the beans, a hot dressing. Put the more mustard oil into the frying pan, and into that I'm going to add some cumin seed and some more mustard seed that I've just bashed about a bit in this pestle and mortar. And let it heat up, and then you'll be able to tell when the mustard seed and the cumin seed is cooked, because it'll start popping at you. Leave that on there for a bit. Now, look at this smashing serving tureen I've got for my beans.
Really handsome, beautiful tureen.
Minton, that'll do nicely. Try not to drop that. And just put them into the tureen. And there, now you can hear the frying pan popping away. And I'll just push this over the top.
Browned.
Yeah.
Very good, that smell of them popping.
Isn't it? And put the lid on. And that'll keep very nicely. And you can, in fact, eat it cold or even lukewarm. Though, those look very dainty.
And what I do now is I sprinkle on a little more breadcrumbs. Not too much, it's just for the browning effect. A little gratiné on the top. And funnily enough, the French call the aristos being of the gratin, which means upper crust.
Oh,
Then a dainty sprinkling of parsley. Now there they are, they're all ready. And you can leave them to cool in the shells and then reheat them in a hot oven or under a grill just before you're going to eat them. So you get this nice bubbly, crusty top. And very good it is, indeed.
I need a pound of flour, but there doesn't appear to be any in this rather lavish kitchen.
Oh, it's typical, isn't it?
And don't suggest a supermarket.
No, there's a wonderful mill. I know you won't go into an ordinary little shop, will you?
Good God, no. A little shop, but it's those big things.
The mill, the mill! Discharge, trough, feed, hopper. It's a wonderful place.
Amazing. I hope we can get some flour here.
There's nobody about.
Hello? Hello?
Shop?
Cooey! Well, we got some grain. Some wheat there. We could probably do it ourselves, Jennifer.
We'll probably get arrested.
Well, not the first time. Wonder where it turns on.
Now here's a wheel, something like a ship's wheel.
Yeah, that'll be it. Now I'll watch the main wheel and you turn that, Jennifer.
Quite stiff.
Yeah, well, it will be, but just put some weight into it.
I will. And who better able? Ah, things are happening here. Very exciting. Heaven knows what may happen.
Well, I hope we can have a pound of flour out of it.
All this for a pound of flour.
Stand clear below.
It's working. Look, beautiful.
Oh, lovely. Let me see. That's the miller's thumb, you see, the thumb test. Make sure it's properly ground. It was the golden thumb because millers were quite rich.
Golden thumb? I thought that was to do with drugs.
Well, it probably is nowadays.
Now, another of your little weird folk tales.
Indeed. Right, I think that's enough.
More than enough, I would say. Look at it. Can you manage?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Several loaves.
Several loaves of healthy brown bread, yeah.
I suppose you like white plastic bread.
No, I hate it. I like crusty white.
Look, lovely flour.
Amazing to have one of those ground flour. Right sort of stuff.
Very good, these kitchens. They were great training grounds. My mother had a cook who trained at Chatsworth with the Devonshires.
Well, I think that would have been a training indeed. Running up and down like mad. They weren't convenient, were they? Not at all.
Well, servants don't deserve planning. Right, well, I'm going to make bambrack with rhubarb for those lovely jockeys. So what I've got in here is just some mixed dried fruits. And I'm going to add to it 6 ounces of caster sugar and some finely chopped peel, orange and lemon peel mixed. And then I'm going to pour onto this a pint of cold tea. This is just ordinary breakfast tea which I've made and allowed to get cold. Now that's must be allowed to soak for between 6 and 8 hours. But fortunately, this is one a friendly footman did earlier. And here, I've just got some butter, which I've softened and creamed. Break into it an egg, which I'm just going to mix up. I'm just going to put a pinch of flour into it to help it to stay together. And now, into the soaked fruit, I'm going to sieve the flour. You have to sieve this type of flour because you never know what you may find in it.
The hidden dormouse.
Indeed.
Going through beautifully.
Isn't it?
Yes, very finely milled, I think.
I know, perfectly. All those good golden thumbs we've got. There, that's about half the flour. I'm just going to stir this in. And I'm going to put in a teaspoonful of mixed spice and a scant teaspoonful of baking powder. And a bit more flour. Well, that's about 2/3 of the flour now, and it's, as you can see, sort of thickening up and stiffening up. And I'm going to put the butter and egg mixture in now. And really mix it in well. You don't want any lumps. Right, and finish off the rest of the flour. There we are. You see, look, there's quite a lot of bran left in the bottom.
I just can't eat bran. I find you just chew and can't actually make the final swallow.
Yes. There we are. Right, pour that in. I've got a baking tin which I've greased and lined. Scrape it all in. There we go. And I'm just going to put this into the oven. Right, I'm going to perfectly poach some rhubarb to go with the bambrack. And what I've got here is just some pieces of rhubarb, because I've peeled off all the long sort of messy bits from the edges, and just cut the rhubarb into inch pieces, put it into the pot with a bit of sugar, and just a little bit of water. Don't want too much water, just a little bit. Start the juice running. So, just going to put that on and leave it for a very short space of time. I don't want it overcooked, I want it in solid lumps. So,
I'll get on with my stuffing. I'm going to cook a fine cod, a stuffed cod. Look at the beautiful creature. Marvellous. Fresh again from the sea. We're so lucky. What I've got here is a bowl of breadcrumbs, about half a pint. Then shove in the ham, about 2 tablespoonfuls of ham. Then we've got the chives, about 2 tablespoonfuls. A couple of pinches of thyme, fresh thyme. The grated zest of half a lemon. Now we'll put some grated onions. Then squeeze half a lemon in. And my favourite little creature, the nutmeg grater. A good scrape of nutmeg. A little bit of salt. Not too much, remember the ham. And quite a good amount of pepper. And I've got here, it can be either butter or bacon fat. And stir this in, it gives a very good flavour. And about a tablespoon of parsley. Mix it all together. Now we can stuff our lovely cod. I'm going to cover the whole fish in lemon juice and the inside. Put lots in there. It's got a fine cavity, and I think that's just about the right amount of stuffing to put into it. Okay, the thing about stuffing is the excitement when you open it up later. Now we have to sew it up. A bit of convent training comes in useful here.
Convent training?
Yes, they taught you how to sew. Nobody knows how to sew nowadays.
Yes, well, surgeons sew.
But they sew in a completely different way, don't they? You should know with your father.
Yes, he used to spend all his time sort of practising knots with his left hand. And I remember my mother said that when they were courting, it used to drive her mad because she'd find he'd been doing it to her hair without thinking.
A fine way to start a marriage.
Yes, couldn't get any better. It's very neatly done.
Not a scar, sir, not a scar. There we are. Now, this is already in a well-buttered tray, and I'm going to add to it, first of all, about a pint of good tomatoes, peeled and chopped up. Mushrooms. A sprinkling of shallot. Spread them about. All these juices will come out once it's cooking. And then a final sprinkling of parsley. Now it's ready for the oven, but I must cover it.
Yes.
Have you got a tip?
No, not really, Jennifer, no.
No tips?
Well, I think it's probably better if we do our own thing, because, I mean, one can fall out badly, you know, if tips don't turn up, really, I always think.
Oh, I wouldn't take them from you. I always choose things because of the name. The name must have some sort of connection.
Yes, well, that's what amateurs do, isn't it?
Absolutely. And they don't do too badly sometimes.
No, I'm sure you're right.
I cook for about 20 minutes in the hot oven.
Good, we can go racing. I don't want to miss the horses saddling up in the paddock.
Oh, no, I'm sure we don't.
Couldn't you ask that nice butler you were just chatting up if he'd turn it off all the time?
Perhaps I'd ask him to take it out.
Yes.
Right.
Useful to have a butler.
In my opinion, butlers ought to know their place and not to play the old retainer night and day.
Come on, let's go racing.
These are quite different. These are sweet butlers, aren't they? That's a good crowd.
Yeah, it's not bad, considering it's a sort of weekday. That was the bell, Jennifer, so that means they're mounting up, so perhaps we ought to go and place a bet, do you think?
We should. I think that was getting out of hand.
Can I have £20 to win Blooming Spring? No, £10 each way, Blooming Spring.
Number 4, a Blooming Spring, £80 to 10 each way, ticket 14.
There you are, there's my investment.
Thank you, best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed. Okay, well, I'll see you after the race, no doubt.
No doubt. Well, I hope not.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about horses, and I don't really know how to go about it. I wonder if you could be a bit of a help to me. You look absolutely as though you know everything.
Delighted, madam. Absolutely delighted. Do you go on colour or the name or...?
Yes, I like a name. I want this Lord of the Lands.
He's got no form, but you don't mind that at all.
No, I'm all for them having no form.
I see.
It's what prisoners have.
Yes, all right. Now, may I put the bet on for you to save you going up and down?
Oh, I'd love you to.
What, a sort of a tenner each way?
I would think so, don't you?
Absolutely right, yes.
You see my horse there, it's lying third now, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah, that's a good place to be.
Yes.
It's a long run in front. It is just Lord of the Land. Very tight between them. Lord of the Land still has the advantage. Might have driven out on from a range. Moved Sarif in third position and in fourth with Love.
Very well. They're good on that one. Can I do you anything for the next one?
No, I don't think so.
Happy thought, I fancied.
Big price for us, a 33 to 1.
Oh, lovely. I'll have a fiver on that to win.
Fiver a win.
Yeah, that should see me right.
165 to 5. The ticket's 15. You won't be back for that one.
You watch me.
Carrying on the theme,
Yes.
Duke's Delight.
Right.
Duke's
Duke's Delight.
Duke's Delight has the lead now inside the final 50 yards. Has begun to draw ahead from Thunderheart in second. Sequence is staying on, but it's Duke's Delight and Look and Wyatt go on to win.
I really fancy my chances in that race. 5 to win political mandate.
5 to win number 12.
And a 5 place Jack Dory.
Raja.
Keeping to the ducal
Let's keep it.
Raja, number 10.
And Raja makes a debut at and an winning one as well. Hard hell, he wins. Brianna in second and Happy Blake in third place and Glacial Girl in
Oh dear, well.
Not cheese, yeah? Not cheese. This is what they do in films, isn't it?
Hey! I'll see you down there.
Make my garments.
Okay.
Hello, dear sir. How have I done?
Well, I think actually we've done fairly well because we had 3 races. Have you got your bag ready?
Yes.
That's 1 lump.
That's great.
That's about £300.
Not bad.
There's another 450 there, which, as we say in Scotland, is nae bad. And finally, we seem to have another £500. How does that suit?
Seems a very good method.
Wonderful.
Golden crunchy, fresh from the sea, hot buttered crab, delicious. Baked to perfection. A fine specimen stuffed codfish with tomato sauce.
An ancient Roman twist to this vegetable dish, green beans with mustard. Delicious rhubarb barmbrack. The jockeys will have to gallop it off before the weighing room. It's been a brilliant day. It's just pity one hasn't won more money, really, but I'm sorry about that, Jennifer. No treats.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. No, don't worry. I've got lots.
Lots? Where
Yes.
from?
Well, I met this gentleman. He was covered in things, you know, for racing. As I said, I didn't know much about it, so I chose the names and the colours I liked, mostly to do with the Duke. Lord of the Land, which is this land, and then another one called Duke's Delight. And then I plumped for a Raja, and look what I got. Lots.
How much? Lots?
Treats all round. Off to Capri.
What a lovely thought. Well done. Well, much respect, as they say.
Your health.
Wealth.
And the pursuit of love. Leave the love out of it. Stick to the money. It's a very simple way to make money.
Well, it's not always like that, gentlemen. Some of us haven't.
Take the name and the colour. That's what I always say.